Hey, Happy New Year. I'm back in the kitchen and we are cooking with Dean today. Today I am making homemade spaghetti sauce with meatballs and sausage, and it should be pretty darn. Okay, in the kitchen we've got some canned tomatoes. We've got crushed tomatoes. Now the crushed Cento brand is the ones I love. These are from New Jersey and they remind me of home. You can get these right at Kroger here in Tennessee and they're fantastic. So these are crushed tomatoes. About 4 cans of crushed tomato to 1 can of tomato puree and 2 cans of tomato paste. That's the average. So in this particular 22 quart roaster, I've got it set to about 200 degrees right now. And what I've done is I've chopped an entire white onion in. I've put a bunch of fresh clove garlic in here and also some bay leaves. So all this is going to bring me some flavor that you just can't get out of a jar of ragu off the shelf, people. It doesn't work. Also, we're going to put some oregano in here. It's going to be wonderful. I've also made homemade meatballs. These got to be browned. I'm going to drain them and then place them in the sauce along with the browned sweet Italian sausage. It's more than brown. It's a little more cooked, but place your Italian sausage in here. I've got 10 Italian sausage. I've got, roughly 25 or so meatballs here. And they're going to go in the sauce. And this is going to cook probably for about, I want to say, about 5 hours. And it's going to do it on about 200 degrees, maybe a little lower, depending on if I see it bubbling or not. I don't want it to bubble. I want it to smoke and be, cooking, simmer all day. And that's where your flavor is going to come from. For spices, I've got crushed red pepper, I've got oregano, I've got my bay leaf, I've got my fresh garlic that I've ground up and chopped up, and my fresh onions, and that's all right in here. It's going to be delicious, folks. When you see this spread underneath and on top of your macaroni, your spaghetti, you have a... Okay, here's the secret to real good homemade spaghetti sauce, and that is your meat and the fact that its grease is going to make its way into the sauce. Now I did drain off the meatballs before I drained them into the pan. And there are 6 small cans of tomato paste. And this is pretty much going to do nothing but thicken it up. So there'll be a whole bunch, as you can see, of cans left over here. But what we've got is a beautiful mess. So you just gently press these down because they are now partially cooked. You could eat one of those meatballs. I consider them maybe rare or medium as they're cooked. And that tomato paste is going to fall into the sauce. And now it's a matter of gently going by, every half an hour to an hour. And just giving it a nice gentle stir so nothing sticks to the bottom or cooks too hard. Keeping your heat down low will also keep that from happening. I also coated the roasting pan with olive oil. Today I cheated a little bit. I've got an aerosol can of extra virgin olive oil. It just makes it stick everywhere you want it to stick, and you get a lot of saturation on the sides by doing that. Right now the heat's just about perfect because it's starting to smoke a little. In other words, just like a hot cup of tea. And that's all I'm looking for. I want to just go slow all day. All day. Later on, I do have some Italian bread at home. I'm going to go bring that up here. Because there's nothing like dipping your piece of Italian bread into this sauce. Maybe you get a little crazy and put some Parmesan cheese on top of that bread and have a little bite of that just to taste your sauce as it's going along. You'll know because it picks up flavor. The longer it sits here and doesn't simmer, the more the magic happens. So there you have it. That's about 22 quarts if I can get it where I got it, with 10 sweet Italian sausage in there and about 25 meatballs. This is going to get divided up into about 2-quart containers, and I'm going to freeze it. So I have good sauce whenever I want. And then we just make spaghetti up, and we've got hot sauce. We just fire it up on the pan, a nice low simmer, and it's ready to go because it's all cooked already. Just to recap, a lot of people ask me, Dean, what did you do? How did you do it? So we'll start from scratch. First thing we did was we took ground beef. We put, gosh, I want to say it's about 2.5 pounds of ground beef is what I put into a pot. And we put about 3 eggs, raw eggs in it, and probably about a cup of breadcrumbs. And then I chopped up whole garlic and put that in there, a little red pepper and some oregano and some salt. And I just mashed it down with my hands, kind of like you would knead dough. Mashed it all up, and then you roll the meatballs by hand, and you place them in the sauce. So there's a nice looking meatball that's going to be something delicious in a little bit. Also, I took Italian sausage. This is a hunk of Italian sausage, a little different looking than a meatball, of course. And I took those, there were 5, you might look at them as brocks. If you look at brocks, pretty much the same thing a brat would be. But these are sweet Italian sausage. And you want the sweet Italian sausage because they have fennel in them. They really have a different taste than kielbasa or anything else would have. It's really going to make this dish work a whole lot better. So you want real sweet Italian sausage. Again, you brown them so you can see a little browning on that sausage right there. You brown them, you cook them about 2/3. They're still going to be a little pink inside. You chop them up when you get them browned and firm, and you throw them in the pot. And they're going to just finish cooking while they're here in the sauce. And again, you want to stir the bottom of the sauce so it doesn't stick to the pan. Remember, coat the pan very strong with olive oil. It might help you to use the aerosol can of extra virgin olive oil that I use. You might not. You might want to just take a paper towel and rub down the sides of the pan with olive oil. That works too, really, really well. Anyway, I've got this on about 200 degrees. It seems to be doing the job perfectly at about 200. So the sauce is going to stay hot. It may be later on I crank it up to 225. I'm looking to see it bubble, and then after it bubbles, bring it back down. So I might even push it to 250. It's kind of nice to see it get to that point and then bring it back down, stir it real good, and have it simmer all day. Right now it's about 3 o'clock. I plan on having this simmer till about maybe 7. It's been simmering for about an hour or so, maybe a little less as I built it up. And when I first started the pot or this roasting pan, I had my onions on the base. I don't like onions. I don't like the texture of them, but boy, do I love the flavor. So they're on the bottom, and they're going to be able to be disintegrate. So the flavor's built in, but the texture and the biting into an onion, well, that's not happening on my sauce. You'll see bits of garlic, whole garlic. Those are going to cook down in as well and taste delicious. There's oregano in here. There's red pepper in here. Again, everybody wants to know how much. Just do your thing. Taste it. If you'd like a little more, put a little more in. It's not rocket science. It's just spaghetti sauce. And this is just a little taste of what I grew up with. It brings back the memories of home. That's why I do it. And it's all going to go into containers and save for later. Well, now you've been cooking with Dean. I hope you enjoy it. And we'll see you on the next